Hey, y'all, welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, Churchill Downs offers a couple of stakes races for the 2-year-olds this weekend. And as they always do, they act as previews for what the Derby and the Oaks Trail are going to look like next year. So the first one we're going to talk about today is the Goldenrod. It's a grade 2 for the fillies. And I think it's a pretty competitive field. And I think there's also some value in there, but we'll talk about that. So let's get into it. This is the Goldenrod. It's a grade 2. It's the 10th race at Churchill on Saturday's card. And it's running a mile and a 16th for 2-year-old fillies. And these are the type of races we start paying attention to when we're thinking about the Oaks and see who's starting to move forward and become a contender. Right off the bat, just looking at this race, the shape of it kind of favors an early runner because most of uh, the better contenders here will be coming from off the pace. So just sort of something to keep in mind. But we're going to go through them one at a time. Number one, Dozen Diamonds. He's yet to run on dirt, but has the pedigree for it, and as well as 2 turns, so we won't worry about that. Has shown some improvement off the bench, wired a starter allowance field. So you could say this one's on the upswing. However, the top end is significantly lower than the rest of the field, and trying dirt for the first time, I'm going to pass for now. Intricate broke the maiden in style, winning the way a good horse should. The concern to me is the speed figure didn't rise from the initial effort, so it may have been more the class of the field than anything else, and it wasn't the greatest of fields. However, these connections are really hard to overlook. Brendan Walsh, Tyler Gaffleone, and I think this one's moving forward from the running style, from watching the race. Just maybe doesn't necessarily appear that way on paper. So Intricate, I think, is one that we should use. Purloin is kind of hard to gauge after winning in the slop in a 4-horse field, but it was done pretty professionally. Um, but she was the favorite in a pretty weak field, and this is a significant step up in class, so I'm going to wait and see for now. Here's the Spider, to me, is extremely interesting. Uh, she was carried wide all the way around in the Galbraith and then wore them down on the backstretch. You note Johnny McKee, who rode her that day, makes the trip here and rode her with restraint on the backstretch. I mean, so he knew he had plenty of horse. That's what it told me. Um, the class of the race was better than a lot of the horses last race who were running in here. So at 30 to 1, I think that's phenomenal value. Now, I don't say that Here's the Spider is necessarily a win candidate, but with the jump forward, could certainly factor in this race. And, if we do get any type of quicker pace than expected, then Here's the Spider might be one to think about. I certainly think you want to include underneath in your exotics. And don't forget, this one's already won a stakes race, and a lot of them can't say that. So I think Here's the Spider, even though she comes from Mahoning Valley, I think is one that offers outstanding value. Central Avenue ran second to Just FYI in the Frizette. We all know what she did in her next start. I thought it was a solid second in the slop, but you do have to wonder, of course, if it was the mud because she did run significantly better than her initial effort. Still, you get Michael Stidham shipping one in from New York, and we know what happened when he did that before. So this is one that I think we can put in the mix. Judging by the running style, I kind of like others better. Seems Doesn't seem to have that pop of a kick. But I think Central Avenue probably going to be a little bit of an underlay, in my opinion, at 5 to 1. But I think we can certainly keep in the mix, mainly for the exotics. Number 6, Gin Gin, had a second in the slop, while no match for West Sunset. And really, the issue to me is this one really didn't build off the maiden win, stepping up in class. And when you see that, particularly for a Brad Cox horse, then you have to wonder if maybe they're not progressing at this stage. And it may mean that another move forward is unlikely. We'll be contesting the pace for sure, but I just kind of have a feeling this one's going to be wanting in the stretch, so I'm going to leave off the ticket for now. Maybe we'll be better later. West Sunset was pretty impressive in the last race in the slop, but you always have that question: was it the slop? But this one looks pretty good. She had a good maiden win as well. She should have her things her own way on the front end, and this race doesn't have a lot of pace in it. So I think it's very likely that West Sunset could just shake loose and be gone. She's run at a better class level than a lot of the horses in here, including the favorite, I might add. So West Sunset looks pretty good to me in this spot, which leads us to number 8, Torpedo Anna. She definitely showed really nice acceleration in the last. She just took over in the stretch, but that wasn't much that she beat. And that's 2 races in a row of the same class level. So she's been beating up on a lot weaker. Now, she's doing what a good horse should do, is she's winning, and she's winning with style. And so you have to take that into account. But this is a significant jump up in class from what she has been running in. And that's my concern a little bit. If she doesn't, she's also going to have to run closer to the pace than maybe she wants to. And that may use up some energy. Taking Kenny McPeek as a favorite is always a risky proposition, but excuse me, I think this one fits here for sure, and I really did like the turn of foot. We'll just have to see if she can do it at the higher class level. So here's the wagering strategy for the Goldenrod. I'd throw a win ticket on the 4. Why not? At 30-1, that's outstanding value. You don't get that too often. I think this horse is not necessarily good enough to win this race unless a move forward is in the offing, but showed me that this one is just as good as some of the other horses underneath in this race. So at the value, why not give it a shot if there is any type of pace meltdown? If Jin Jin decides to contest with Western Sunset or Stablemate, you never know. Things could get wild. So why not just throw a win ticket on? It wouldn't hurt. Maybe even go win place because second's probably more likely, if anything. For an exacta, I like the 7 in this race, and so I'm going to go with the 7 in a key box on top with 2, 4, 5, and 8. I could even see cutting that down and, maybe just a 4, 5, and 8. I'm not as keen on Central Avenue as I am on Intricate. And then I, of course, would box the chalk 7 and 8. So then if you do get Western Sunset or Torpedo Anna on top with Western Sunset in second, you double up there. So that's a way to max out your value. And then for the hell of it, throw in a key box with a 4 on top over 2, 5, 7, 8. Obviously, if it comes in, it's a nice score. Then for the trifecta, we'll stay chalky and we'll go 7, 8, 7, 8 with 2, 4, 5. And then we'll go 7, 8 with 2, 4, 5 with 7, 8. So if we get them, the 2 of them in first, second, or third, we should be in pretty good shape. And then for the hell of it, let's throw a 10-cent super on there. I wouldn't go for a $1 ticket unless, you could if you use 7 and 8 for the first and second slot. And then if it hits, great. And if not, you're not out a whole lot. But I'm going to throw the 4 in there. And, because if it does hit out of nowhere, then you get a nice payday. So I go 4, 7, 8 with 4, 7, 8 with 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 with 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. And so for a 10-cent ticket, it's not a whole lot. And if it does hit, you get a really nice ROI. And, of course, that's what we want. Why not get an early Christmas present this weekend?
So that's the Goldenrod, and I think it's a pretty good race. And, I think here's the Spider we can't overlook, and hopefully we'll get anything close to 30-1. We get that one in the mix underneath in the exotics, and we got a nice payday. I think that's more likely, but you never know. With 2-year-olds, anything can happen. So maybe we throw a win bet on and hope for the best. We'll just have to see. Let's hope for that early Christmas present we always look for at this time of year. So I hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy, of course, and I'll wish you the best of luck as always. And if you do like content like this, of course, please like and subscribe. And thanks to all of you who have come on board. Again, I wish you a safe and happy holiday season, but we're not done yet. We've got more postings on the way, so be on the lookout for those. Talk to you soon, and until then, be well.